Hey everybody, my name's Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, it's just an interesting thing. I mean, I could tell you when this show is shot, you know, what the date is in Earth time and what year it is and all that. And yet, I was thinking, you know, just earlier today about if I didn't say the date and I said, you know, there's war all over the place, that people are killing each other, that people are strapping bombs to themselves, that there's just horrendous antagonism and antipathy and ugliness all over the globe in one section or another. Would you know what date that was in the last 100 years? The last 1,000 years maybe? And to me it's like, when is this going to stop? When are we going to know, as human beings here, as all children of that love, of that God, of that truth, to know that experience of our connectedness, to know that experience of our oneness? And it just seems to me like it's got to be time. I mean, it's just got to be time when we really come together. Well, we have some friends in from Monterey, California. We were talking earlier about how all of us have to come together and learn how to collaborate and learn how to bring all our gifts and all our love together to almost form, to use a metaphor, an army of love. Just crusading in a way. I mean, these are stupid words and we're using words, but moving in that love, becoming a moving love meditation, but in a connected way. Not that you have this point of light and this point of light and this point of light all over, which is fine, but to come together in collaboration, to share all our gifts, to have that love expand. And to me, it's time we need to do that. Whatever belief system we have, whatever we think is important to us, it seems like now's the time where we really need to learn to collaborate, where we really need to learn to work together as best we can without ego to further the love, to further that vibration of love, to spread it and to just let it flow out of our every minute and every breath in our lives. And again, that's what the show is about. That's what Bridging Heaven and Earth has been about. From the first show till this show, whatever show this is, whenever it's shown in your area, that's what it's about. And we have people again who just travel the globe to share their love and to share their dedication to that love in whatever way they do it. We have with us Cecilia, who was on a recent show of Bridging Heaven and Earth, and we have so much positive response. We said, when can you come back? And it worked out that she could come back for tonight's show. She's a world-renowned inspirational singer, an amazing talent, and an amazing person. She has 4 CDs out, A Voice of Feminine Spirit, Voice of Violet 19, Inner Harmony, and Let There Be Peace on Earth. The Let There Be Peace on Earth is her latest song, and it seems like a very good idea. But Cecilia is just, was brought up in Norway, and her life is dedicated to, with her voice and her love and her vibration, just spreading that connectedness, to heal the heart, to heal the love that we're not feeling. And then we have with us Morning, who's a new friend to Bridging Heaven and Earth. She's a spiritual teacher, she's a healer. She was the founder and formulator of a medicine modality dealing with indigenous plants and lights and energy called Raphology. Her specialty is herbal and plant medicine and nutrients. And again, she's in healing the body. She's trying to heal the separation we feel. Whatever ways we feel separated from our brothers and sisters, from the dolphins, from the whales, from the trees, it's got to stop. We got to stop having that disconnect in our lives, because it just doesn't feel as good as the connect, as the love flowing through us freely and lovingly. We, all of us, know, at least for 1 second in our life, what it feels like. And we need to feel it more. So, you know, it's an opportunity tonight to really let that happen. So the way we plan tonight's show, we're going to start with, as we normally do, with a meditation, but we're also going to go right into Cecilia's first song, which is The Prayer, which was written by James Redfield of Celestine Prophecy fame and Frederick Carlson, and is going to be performed by Cecilia. And then the music is going to start as soon as I put my head down to meditate. So meditate with me, and then after a minute or so, Cecilia will be singing. When you hear her start singing the prayer, you'll know that she's singing, and that's, open your eyes and see that beauty and see that inspiration. So please join me in a short meditation, then Cecilia is going to sing the prayer. Thank you, Cecilia. So what we're going to do now is show that we have two videos from our other guest's morning. about her healing modality called Raphology. And we're going to show the first video where she describes, where Morning describes what Raphology is. And then we're going to have to talk to Cecilia a little bit on the set, and then Morning will come on later, and then Cecilia's going to do some more songs. So if we're ready with the Morning video.
Raphology is the study and practice of light as it affects our mind, body, and spirit through the color spectrum. It works in a very strange and magical sort of way. If you compare your body to a car, the kind of fuel that you put in your car actually has to do with how the car performs. If it's a lower octane, for instance, you might get a little pinging and grinding when you're going up hills or having to expend a little extra energy. The same thing happens in the body with food. When you put a higher enzyme or a higher nutrient food into your body will have much more energy and can perform in a much more peak way so that it can serve you better in your everyday activities. But how light works in the body is through the hormone system. There are 7 glands in the body, and each of those glands produces hormones. And if we're talking about light as it breaks into a prism of light from a single, let's say, white ray of light, it breaks down into 7 colors. And each of those 7 colors works with each of the 7 glands in the body. And the glands use the light literally to make or manufacture the hormones. And then the hormones themselves have a whole governing system as they work with specific organs of the body. And we actually use at this point our knowledge of how the digestive system of the body works in conjunction with the nervous system. We have nerves that travel the length of the body from the top of the head down to the soles of the feet through the spinal nerve system. And actually the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands work as a roadmap for the entire body. Toes together represent the left side and the right side of the head. This would be about the waistline. Just above the waist we have the kidneys and just below the colon. And on the right foot we have the liver, the left foot we have the spleen, pancreas, solar plexus on both feet, and so forth.
And how do you determine what I'm deficient in?
What we do is we actually use a pressure. Let's say this is where the liver is located on the foot. We would actually use a pressure, and you would then tell me how that feels. Okay, I'm actually going to practically demonstrate how Raphology.
Hi, well, we're going to talk to Morning later and see another video that'll help describe it. So we're on the set with Cecilia. Welcome.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. So when did you know that your gift was singing and that your gift was going to be used to, spread that love and light?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've always loved music, always loved to sing, but I didn't know, what would happen, later in life with me actually becoming a singer. That took a while.
Mm-hmm. But when did you know that you were going to try, or that you were going to sing inspirational songs, that people were going to say that your singing was a healing presence for them? And
yeah, I had actually been studying classical singing, and I thought that was my way, and I studied that for many years. And I'd been also reading spiritual books, and I found myself, really questioning if I wanted to sing classical songs anymore. And I thought, I don't want to sing classical, I don't want to sing really pop songs, there is something else I want to say. But what kind of genre is that of music? So I was really lost for a while. And I took a spiritual seminar called The Warrior's Wisdom, which Stuart Wilde, the spiritual author, held. And I took that seminar to quit singing.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I thought, I don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm. It just wasn't fulfilling anymore.
No. And
even though it was beautiful and you knew how to hit every note, it was
yes.
just like, who cared?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was suddenly wasn't right, and that was really scary after all these
right.
years of determination. And I knew this was right, and suddenly it wasn't right anymore.
Right.
So I went to his seminar, and one of the last days there, he came up to me and he said, "I hear you are a singer." and I was, a little shy, and he said, well, I don't care, I want to hear you sing, and I want to hear it now. And he clapped in his hands, and he put me up on the table, and he said, sing.
Really?
Yes. And of all the songs I could remember, the only song that came into my mind was Amazing Grace.
Really? Am I hearing that her mic is not working right? Okay, well, let's... Okay, I'm talking now. Can you hear Cecilia? Do we have to start this interview again? It was so brilliant, I can't believe no one heard it. We could hear it?
Just not as well.
Oh, just not as well. How is it now?
It's fine.
Okay, good. Okay,
I'm
so now
glad.
you got 2 mics and I got 1. They're going to cut me out. So fine, how do you do? So you were in this class with Stuart Wilde, this
Yes,
workshop, and he
yes.
said sing amazing, or he said sing,
He
and
said
you
sing.
said...
And
he
the only song I could remember after, all the songs I had in my head was Amazing Grace, which one of the line is, once was lost, but now I'm found. And I sang that song, and he came up to me afterwards and he said, I want to help you as much as I can. So he had the idea of making a CD with more spiritual, inspirational lyrics and more modern music, and he said, would you like to be the singer?
Wow.
So
So
it's
he
like-
had this idea before, and then the
Yes, when
synchronicity
he-
of you coming there. Wow.
When he heard my voice, he found a singer, and then,
Wow.
my first CD happened. And when I went to his seminar, it was to quit singing. So it's like this, there is no coincidence. So when it's meant to happen,
And
things will
as
happen.
soon as you started singing those type of songs,
Yes.
it just felt different and felt right.
oh,
and,
yes, I knew.
and people responded differently.
So differently. Yes.
And your like destiny kind of for now is basically traveling the world, in a sense, singing these songs with Deepak Chopra, with Andrew, all the...
Yes, I've done that quite a lot.
And you're going to be, actually, if I tell now, it's near the Olympics.
Yes.
So you're going to be singing at the Olympics for the Queen and King of Norway, if there is such people. I don't
There
know.
is.
There's both a
Definitely.
king and a queen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank
And
God.
the children, and
I love kings and queens. It's always, royalty always,
Yes.
the equality of royalty always fascinates me.
Me too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's
So you're going to be
happen.
singing then at a venue like that? And all
Yes.
That? Oh, that's
Yes,
going to
and
be
for the
exciting.
government of Norway, and
At the Olympics,
Yes.
which are taking place in Salt Lake City not too long from now. But there probably will be some wars going on during that period.
no.
We hope now. We hope that this night is the last night of wars and people not experiencing love.
That's
Do you
why
think
I
that
think
happens?
Yes.
Who knows, huh?
Yes, I think love is greater
Yeah?
than fear and than war.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think,
So how has it lasted
life-
this long? What's your theory on that? How humans seem to
think-
find themselves in fear and war and separation? How did that work? There's
How-
this question.
that's a good one. How people find themselves?
Yeah, I
in
mean,
that
how did
situation?
humans... I mean, I would agree with you that love is stronger than fear and hatred.
Yeah.
And yet somehow in all our lives,
Yeah.
there's a momentum of the division, of the separation, of
I
feeling...
think because we feel separated from each other, and we have grown up with competitiveness. You have to be best or better, or to get your way, or that
Or
people
this
are
race is better than that race, or
Yes.
this color, or this
Yes.
country, or...
not. Yes.
Huh.
So if we, what I learned more, a lot from meditation, when I found that peace and that love, it's hard to describe, but you begin to feel more connected to others too.
Now, when you did you start doing meditation before the Stuart Wilde epiphany?
Epiphany. I hadn't started meditating, no, but I was searching.
Uh-huh.
I was searching for answer. I was, clearly not happy, even if I had the kind of the outer success
Right.
that is supposed to fulfill everything. And it's like, no, it didn't.
Right.
And that's when I went into this, find myself in this darkness. Because people had told me, when you have this outer success, that's it.
And so when you, did Stuart Wilde teach you a meditation during that workshop, or did that come later?
That came later.
And then once you started going into the silence, going into the quiet place, like many of the spiritual traditions,
Yes.
you experienced that place where we're all connected, where we're all love, and
Yes.
and then it just reinforced.
Not, not every time I sit down. Most of the time, the thoughts are still running so much. But, the thing with meditation is that you try to get your mind a little bit more quiet.
Right.
And when you get to that quiet place, that for me is bliss. It's not when it happens so much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we talk about that on the show a lot, that if everybody, in one way or another, whatever form they use or whatever format they use, came into that experience,
Yes.
then all the ways we think we're separate would be lessened and lessened and
Yes.
lessened until we realize that really we're much more the same than, than you're in a black dress and I'm in a, whatever
Yes.
color jacket.
But I think-
it's like a gray or a brown.
What am I
No
wearing?
one's determined yet.
But to sit down in meditation, I think can also be scary, because you really find out what you think and what you feel.
And how you can't control your mind. It's that, it's just
Yes.
running. It's like a
Yes.
computer or a car that's always running and out of control.
Always, yes.
Yeah.
So
It's
maybe that's
interesting
why
that way.
maybe many people go to entertainment or they can't handle being alone with themselves. So I know when I go through a hard time, it's harder to sit down to meditate.
Yeah, when you're on a tremendous momentum of external things.
Yes.
Actually, just recently I taught some person to meditate, and they said that the interesting thing, after they said they had a really extraordinary experience, was that they had never realized how talkative their mind
Yes.
is. How incredibly, it's
Yes.
an amazing
And
thing.
it always almost says the same over and over and over.
Right. It's
Like,
amazing
can
how...
we have a new record soon in there?
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
But there is a way, and that's what all the spiritual paths are about, and that's what you, in a way, stumbled onto.
Yes.
Is a way to get through, and once you have that experience, you want more and more of it, and it's just incredible.
And I think also I find that somehow music can open up your heart, sometimes in the same ways as meditation can. That's what
Right.
I feel, with the right songs, the right words, the right intention behind the songs.
And that's really why you do it. I mean, and it feels right to you.
Yes.
It's like to heal the heart, to open the heart.
Yes, yes. Because music does that to me, and I want to, hopefully that can help others too.
Yeah, I mean, all the, the feedback we get from, people who are involved in our experiences is that it really does that. I mean, after, you know all the stories that when, you and Oren are booked on the show, the
Yes.
Bridging Heaven and Earth show, and I
Yes.
told all my, the people working on the show, they're going, Cecilia's coming on the show, you know how incredible she is. And I said, yeah, I've heard her out, she's very incredible. We try to get incredible people. Is that a surprise to you? But yeah, so I mean, I think it's really, what you're doing is like you're really in harmony with that, and it's really working, so
And
it's
maybe
beautiful.
now more and more after what happened, that people...
You mean the 911?
Yes.
That people are open?
People are more searching, I think, more searching about answer. What is life? What is death? Why am I here? What is going on? We are searching. And now it's kind of more all right to search. And I think people
And be
have more
open and vulnerable.
Yes, and you see
Right.
that is a good thing.
Right, that's beautiful.
Yes, and maybe this kind of music, I believe everything has its time and its place, and I believe now is the time for this kind of inspirational music.
Well, we obviously agree with this.
You
All
have
right.
to.
Yeah, right. So I think what we'll do now, I mean, Cecilia's going to sing 2 more songs later, but we're going to have the second Raphology video with a demonstration of how Raphology works in healing and as a healing and treatment modality. And then we're going to talk to Morning, who is the founder and formulator of that, and you'll see her again on the video. So we're going to have Cecilia sing more songs later, and Maureen's going to talk to us. So the video will describe, give a practical demonstration.
Okay. And I'm going to start here on your right foot. How does that feel?
Well, it doesn't hurt, but I feel it.
Okay.
It doesn't feel good.
Okay, and how about here?
That hurts.
And how about here?
That's okay.
Good. All right, now we'll go to your left foot.
That kind of hurts.
It kind of hurts. And here?
Oh, this kind of hurts a little bit.
Okay, and here too. And how about here?
Ow.
Okay.
That hurt a little bit.
All right. And we also want to check your ovaries. How does that one feel?
A little sore.
Okay. And this one?
Oh, a little sore.
A little sore too? Okay, what your feet have just told me by that little demonstration is that you have got some places that hurt, therefore you have some light deficiency. In other words, those organs are not functioning as well as they can. So we're going to just pick a couple of those to show how the color of light actually works with the organs in the body. And we'll start with orange because your pancreas hurt. So I want you to lay that right across your solar plexus area. Very good. And then I'm going to go right to your pancreas, and let's see how that feels.
Doesn't hurt anymore.
Okay, now I want you to hold it away, and your body should tell us whether or not it wants it back or it needs that color.
Ow, it hurts again.
Okay, so put it back now, and let's see how that feels. Much better?
Yes.
Okay, good. Great. Now, we also had a little bit of pain in the ovaries, and let's try the red, because we know that the red works with the ovaries, and let's see how that feels. Your ovaries should feel better. This one hurt a little worse, so let's try this one first.
Yes.
Okay, now if
Doesn't
you
hurt at all anymore.
Okay, good. Now if you hold the red away,
Okay.
let's see what kind of reaction we get when we take the red away.
Ow.
Okay, and on this side as well.
Ow.
Okay. Okay, now we go to the next little phase. We talked about how food can use or be substituted for the same color as that red piece of material representing red light. Well, the mango uses or absorbs and gives off red light. So if I hand you this and you hand me back the red swatch of fabric, we're going to do a substitution. Now, we saw the reaction with taking away the red light before and putting it back. So now we've put the red light now in the form of a mango. So this should make your ovaries feel really good. And then if you
Feels
hold
really good.
if you hold it away, now your ovaries should say, "No, give that back to me."
Ow. It stings.
Okay, now put it back. And now we'll go see how that feels. Relief.
Yes.
Yes, I want that. See, now we can see how the interplay of light with red light and the mango, which absorbs red light, does the same thing for the body. Your body has just told me through your feet that it really wants to have red light in the form of this mango. So now you know if you eat this mango every day, and say you come back to me in a few weeks, we're going to check how your ovaries are doing. They're going to feel much better because they're going to now have the red light that they needed to increase their hormone production so that you can feel better and your ovaries will function better, your periods will be better, your energy level will be higher, you'll be a much happier person. My personal draw to this work came when I was suffering from some pretty serious illnesses myself. And having come from what I thought was already pretty good, healthy eating, I didn't understand quite why I was in such bad shape. But someone suggested that I try an herbalist, and the herbalist turned out to be Jonathan Wolfe, who was the man who introduced me to herbs, which I knew nothing about before. And I had some pretty serious kidney problems as well as arthritis and many other things going on in my body that made it very difficult for me to function. And within 4 or 5 sessions, I found an incredible difference in my personal performance, my functionality, my mental state. Everything improved drastically, and I went from somebody who was literally dragging around looking at some pretty serious surgeries in front of me to somebody who is healthy and excitable and enthusiastic, and that experience truly changed my life, and I wouldn't let...
Hi, so we're on the set with Morning, who you've seen our 2 videos already. Welcome.
Thank you, Alan. It's great,
Great.
to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad
I
you
love
could
your
come.
plants and flowers.
Such as they are. Yeah,
Yes,
right.
as they are.
So, how did you come into this thing where you know, like you felt that the calling to be a healer, and you had that gift?
Well, I had literally a life-changing experience where I went for somebody.
Not
from-
the Stuart Wilde.
Not the
thing.
Stuart Wilde thing. That was.
I mean, how many plugs can we give this guy? I mean,
I've read his book though, and he's great.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what they said. He'd
Well,
make
one
a
of his
great
books.
guest.
Yes, he
But he's
would.
unreliable, so.
No, well, you
Sorry,
have to
Stuart.
stick with us reliable people. I went from having what I call my before life into my afterlife, all within the same body, going from somebody who was looking at dying and deciding one day I'm not going to accept this.
Tell me
And-
this particular, tell the audience, I know this story, but.
Well, the sort of long and short of it was that I was suffering from chronic renal failure and arthritis. I had cystitis, warts, bursitis. I could go on, but that should
God,
that
girl, what
should
the hell have you been
suffice.
doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
And I sought out for what for me was an alternative at the time, because I had been raised with Western medicine and lots of pills and surgeries and things like that, and I decided that wasn't going to be for me anymore. So I sought out the man who eventually I fell in love with and became my husband, and I can't remember if that was on the video or not. But through the experience of being introduced to and taking
And he was
herbs,
a healer, this
yes,
person? Uh-huh.
yes. I took herbs and changed into foods that have the enzymes that change the way that the digestive organs and all the rest of the organs in the body function. And within about 5 or 6 months, I had 2 fully functioning kidneys. My arthritis was gone. My cysts were gone.
In how long? Say that?
In 5 to 6 months.
Wow, amazing.
And it was such a
And
life.
you were on death's doorstep, in essence.
I literally was. I
Wow.
literally was. So it was a miracle to me. And I was so enamored of the process and of the incredible feelings that come when you use plant energies, light energies, food energies to integrate the light body and the physical body, so that all of a sudden you're feeling peaceful and the fear goes away and you're loving yourself more and the healing comes. It was a whole new process, a whole new lifestyle
Now,
for me
did
to
you
look
have any
at.
spiritual, so-called spiritual background before? Anything with vegetarianism, herbalism? You know, I mean, did you go through the 60s where that was part of what a lot of people did? And
In a sort of a mild way, I did. I wasn't. I hadn't been a vegetarian, although I had been struggling with a lot of allergies all of my life toward wheat and milk and corn and some of the other things that most people are allergic to. So I had a very specialized diet, but I was still dying. So it became something that was of paramount importance to me because I didn't feel good.
so subtlety didn't seem to work for you.
Subtlety didn't seem to work for me. I guess you could call me an extremist.
Right
Yes.
onto the death's door, and then
Yes.
then
Well,
the
that
realization
that
opens
became
you.
really my motivation to
Right.
be who I really was, I
Right.
think. And I
Right.
think that happens to most of us. We have to get to a place of desperation before we really are motivated to become who we are and get on the path.
Unless there's
that
a
we
real
need to be.
strong love in front of us. I mean, the human
That's the
experience
other-
is,
that's the other-
you know, like guru or
Right.
some extraordinary experience.
I think
or
that would be the
something.
positive aspect
Yeah,
of that.
I think for all of us, we kind of spiral up with like bad things kind of biting at us, and then beautiful things kind of in front of us, you know,
Yes.
enticing us.
Thank goodness for the beautiful
Yeah, I
things.
know. It would be hard if it was just the
Absolutely.
biting all the
Yeah.
time.
Yes, it would.
So you met this person, and basically you went from tremendously ill,
Yes.
diseased,
Mm-hmm.
disharmonious, into a state of much more harmony and much more
Much more.
balance.
Much more.
And so
Absolutely.
what happened then in your development?
Well, I couldn't be who I was anymore. I had to stop being all of the things that I thought I was and get into being me. And that, for me, that it included making herbs, which is plant medicine, and foods and color and light energies part of who I am. And then, of course, I had to start sharing it with everybody else. So the man who was my healer at the time, I was constantly, at him to teach me everything he knew. And when
Plus
he
you're
did, then
attracted to him too. So
Of
you had
course,
that,
of course.
you had that going
That's always
for
a
us,
nice-
right, that
yes.
always- See, that was the love in front.
That's the truth. That
Right.
is the truth.
Right.
So I studied other modalities, and then he and I got back together, and he and I together traveled and did years and years of research and study. And
With all different, like, shamans
yeah,
and...
medicine men, sages, all kinds of indigenous plants and indigenous peoples
And
different
all over
kinds
the
of healing.
world, too?
Yes, absolutely. And boy, what you learn when you think you know a lot, you realize that you really
know very little.
you know very
the more
little.
you learn, the more you know
Yes,
you don't know.
yes,
right?
that's so true.
Right.
And so what we were able to learn and put together and integrate was some of the medicines and healing techniques that have for us become so advanced that they supersede modern technology, they supersede all of the invasive techniques that Western medicine uses. So, and by the video that we saw, you can see that
And it's
the
simple
body,
in a way.
right, the body knows everything that's going on. Every cell in our body is life force. It has information about every other part of our body. So when we learn to communicate with our body, then it literally can tell us what's going on, what does it need to heal, how much, when, where, and why. And that becomes a very exciting thing, because that's when the fear goes out the window and the love for
Because
yourself.
we're in harmony. Fear is
Right.
when harmony doesn't exist.
Exactly. So that part becomes very exciting, and when you become a healing team with somebody, if I'm helping somebody on their path to healing, you make this team, and it becomes really exciting. You know, sometimes when I'm working somebody, I actually get really hot because the energy gets going, and it's very exciting. It's really fun, and people heal because then they start communicating with their higher selves, their physical selves, and the mental self gets to sort of take a back seat, because this becomes then the spiritual and physical part of the healing. This is the reintegrating part that puts you as a healer and you as a patient together in the same way that you as the spiritual body and you as the physical body come together, and this teaming effort is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean,
really
it's
great.
interesting you talk about that, because, at the
Right.
opening, that the collaboration is that it's a time when we need to collaborate on that scale and on all the other scales,
Right.
just
Oh,
to bring all the gifts that we've all, been led to death's doorstep
It's so
or whatever
true.
experienced, and come together
It's so
and really,
true.
start
Yes.
being open with it and sharing it. And
Oh, absolutely. I think probably one of the shocking things for me was learning that all of the marketing about nutrition really didn't have our health really in mind. It had the apple industry or the cheese industry in mind. So when you begin to research enzymes and how they work in the body, you get a much better picture of how foods that have high enzymes work and how foods that have very little enzymes. And when you compare, you take an apple and a pear, for instance, you put them on your kitchen counter, you walk away, you come back 6 or 8 weeks later, the apple is still this great shining picture, exactly the same as the day you put it there, but the pear is this sort of liquidy bubbling mass on your kitchen counter,
Right.
which is telling you that the pear has all the enzymes it needs to digest itself. So it can give life force to the body, whereas the apple is going to have to take digestive enzymes away from the body in order to break itself down. So it's going to...
so an apple a day makes the doctor sick.
I think makes the doctor's pocketbook sick. I think is
I
that
see.
how-
This is an interesting thing, and there's a controversy that I've seen
Mm-hmm.
recently that I'd like your opinion on. That vitamins, because they're synthesized, and even enzymes, they have all the different,
Yes.
don't really do what they claim to do, because they're not with all the combinations and all the minerals and all the, and that's one side of it, that you should eat it in the food, but then the
Right.
other side is you can't get enough of it
Right,
in the
because
food,
our
because
soils
the,
are so
the
depleted.
soils are
Right.
crapola,
Yes.
as they say, depleted in other worlds.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
that's so, where do you come down on that particular side of things?
Well, our bodies do need vitamins and minerals more than we can eat in our foods when we are in a state of poor health. But the way to put them back in, as you said, is not through synthetics and chemical supplements, because the human body is organic in nature and it cannot break down these synthesized components.
So we just either urinate them out, I mean, they just go. They
Well-
really don't have much effect because we don't have really the tools.
I wish that were true, but for the most part, what the body can't use, it will store. So if something is
And
not water
usable
soluble,
storage.
right, and so oftentimes our colon will start to become impacted with vitamins and minerals, and literally some of those things can putrefy, right, if I can use that word, in our colon. And this is what begins to start the dis-ease process. And where I differ with Western medicine is that in Raphology medicine, we don't deal with disease at all, because disease is just the name of a symptom. And all symptoms from the Raphology perspective starts with the digestive system. So if there's a digestive problem, you're going to have a symptom in your joint, in your sinuses, in your spinal column.
And would you say it's the immune system, or you even think that it gets to the digestive system first?
Yes, that is
And
definitely
that will
the
affect
beginning.
your immune system. And
Absolutely.
Then, I see.
Absolutely.
But you think that the root cause in the physical body of disease is digestion?
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen it over and over again.
Yeah,
My husband and I, in almost 35 years of combined research and practice,
Yeah, no, a lot of
keep
people
seeing
do
it
say
over
that.
and over again.
And so, how, if somebody came to you, how would you work to learn how to deal with their disease, their disharmony?
Well, as you saw in the video, we work with the nerve endings that display themselves on the feet, which are called the reflex points. And we can get a better picture of what's going on in the body than an MRI or a CAT scan or blood tests or anything else.
Just by your expert feeling of the points in the feet, almost the acupuncture points.
Yes, yes.
And you don't do anything with, like in acupuncture, they do the different...
No.
You don't do
No,
that.
we work specifically with the feet, and it's very interactive with the individual, because the individual is actually feeling what's going on in their body through their feet, and
I see.
they get to say, "Oh my goodness, there's a lot of pain there," or that's a really dull ache. No, I see why I've got this problem over here. So it's very interactive. So they actually get to feel what's going on, and then through the nerve reflexes again, we test, as you saw in the video, what color is deficient in the body.
And the color would be correlated to a food or an enzyme?
Yes.
So
On
even
both,
the color, it's just vibrational almost.
everything is
Vibration,
vibrational, isn't
right.
it? Yes. So a plant that absorbs a specific color from the sun, when we eat it, that color, that energy, that vibration goes into our body. And every single one of our hormone-producing glands, every one of our digestive organs, and all of our functioning organs use that color or that energy for a specific purpose. As we learned in the video, the ovaries in women and the testicles in men use the red light energy, or the red vibration. And contained within that vibration or that energy is the specific energy that those organs need to produce their hormones. And the hormones
healthy.
be healthy. Any hormone dysfunction at all causes a problem in the body. So what we obviously want to do is we want to make sure that all of the hormone producing glands are functioning properly and their hormone levels are balanced. And then also we want to make sure that everything else in the body is balanced as well. And we can do that by putting in light or taking out light, which is the same as energy, information, and vibration.
Can you do that in one visit? Or is it
Well,
it
you start the
depends how
process.
disharmonious?
Correct. Somebody who is very advanced in a state of dis-ease or has combinations of
Just
symptoms.
momentum. We have to start unwinding the momentum.
Right. You have to backtrack and
Right.
go backwards.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
an amazing process. Now, and if it's vibrational, and in the video you put down a red
Red strip of
right,
color,
red strip. Now, the only reason that rather than wearing a red clothes all the time, or a red bandana around your waist,
which you could do.
which you could do, but you take that off, and the food you eat, and it becomes part of you.
Correct.
So,
Absolutely.
So that's why you'd want to bring it in with food. But I mean, do you recommend to people sometimes that they actually wear more of a certain color?
Absolutely, or sleep on a colored pillowcase, or wear colored underwear, or just be aware of it in their surroundings. We take vibration into us in many different ways, and Cecilia shows us, for instance, that singing can be a love vibration that we can actually, she offers it and we can receive
What color
it.
is it?
It depends on what song she's singing.
I see.
The rhythm,
And do you
the words.
see colors? Because we have people who, you know, see different, like auras, you'd say.
I don't walk around seeing everybody's color, but once I have a relationship with you, yes, I
You
can.
can see
I can
that.
see.
So-
your
and that
auras,
will
yes.
help you in the diagnostic process.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And this is something that everybody can learn. And that's the exciting thing
Yeah,
about
that's
it. I
really
think.
amazing.
It is amazing. So we teach this, we practice it, we extract our own herbs, so that and they're all in liquid form, so that they're very readily available to the body. So there's no pills to digest. And when you heal, when you have a whole team of tools, then it becomes exciting, it becomes supportive, nurturing, all of the things that most of
And
us are
just-
missing in our lives
Do
right now.
people have to want to heal? But I guess they wouldn't come to you if they don't want to heal.
That's true. Yes,
so
of
once
course
they get
do.
in there,
Right.
so
Sometimes the most difficult question I'll ask a patient who's suffering a lot, I will ask them, I said, do you want to
yeah,
live?
do you want to live? Do you want to heal? Yeah.
And some people can come right back, yes, I do, and others really have to think about it.
Because
They've
there's
never-
just so much suffering and pain. And
It's true. So
Yeah.
yes, they have to want to heal.
Wow.
Absolutely.
all right. On that note, I hope you all want to heal and, you know, find the love. So what we're going to do now, we're going to, you know, hopefully say goodnight and go into Cecilia's last two songs. If you want any information on mourning, you want information on where Cecilia's going to be playing, the CDs, where Mourning's giving workshops, how to get in contact with anybody, how to get in contact with Bridging Heaven and Earth, it's 805-687-2053, 805-687-2053. Call Alan. We love you. We do these shows. We do a live show, so if sometimes a mic doesn't work, it's just part of what we do. We try to do the best we can, but these things happen. So Cecilia is going to do two songs, and then we're going to go out with Cecilia's songs. The first one is "The Wind Beneath My Wings," written by Larry Henley and Jeff Silbar, obviously performed by Cecilia. And then the last song is "My Beloved," written by Cecilia, Sam Mizell, and Jana Parker. And we love you. Good night. Go for the love. I mean, it's just, the rest is too stupid. We all know that. All right. Good night.
It might have been cold there in my shadow, to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. I never once heard you complain. Did you ever know that you're my hero, and everything I would like to be? I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I got it all here in my heart. I want you to know, I know the truth. Of course I know I would be nothing without feel